While patrolling one night,
Did you hear that?
Helmi whispered. Michael looked around the quiet void deck. There was no sign of anything unusual around them, and he shrugged.
What? I didn't hear anything.
They had just come down from one of the units in the block after a call about a disputing household. It was routine basic stuff, and the matter was resolved amicably. As the two police officers made their way to their patrol car, Helmi began to hear sounds of thumping from behind, which unnerved him. Helmi stopped, turned around, and caught a glimpse of something white behind one of the pillars. He felt a familiar prickle at the back of his neck as he stared at that particular pillar. He moved towards the side but did not see anything suspicious. He gave one final sweeping glance at the quiet surroundings, turned, and hurriedly walked to catch up with Michael. The soft thumpings came again. This time, Helmi ignored it and quickened his pace. Once they reached the patrol car, Michael slid behind the wheel and started the engine. Helmi was about to get inside when he looked up and drew a sharp breath. There, on the swing, gently going back and forth, was a shrouded figure, its body mummified by a white cloth sitting hunched at the swing and eerily illuminated by the weak light of the playground. He could hear the sound of the creaking chain as it swung back and forth with its unearthly occupant at its seat. He did not know how long he stood there, half his body inside and the other half still outside the car, as if time had stood still. Michael's voice startled him.
Boy, Helmi, faster lah. We still need to go back and do this report.
Helmi hurried into the car and slammed the door shut. From the windscreen, he could see the swing moving gently, but the shrouded figure was gone.
You see it? On the swing just now?
Michael peered through the windscreen.
What? I didn't see anything. Will you just stop with this seeing and hearing things? Can or not? You're freaking me out leh.
He huffed impatiently and reversed the car out of the parking lot. Helmi shook his head and fell silent. It was one thing to see something spooky like that in the middle of the night while out patrolling, but the fact that he was the only one who saw it made him feel even worse. He decided not to dwell on the incident earlier, as he knew it would only make him more disoriented. As they drove in silence, Helmi looked out the window and saw, among the trees, the white figure jumping alongside their car. His heartbeat quickened and his hands froze. He closed his eyes and mumbled something under his breath. Michael was oblivious to his partner's distress, and he was going on and on about his recent escapades with his girlfriend. Once they reached their station, Helmi quickly excused himself to go to the toilet on the second floor. He washed his face and looked at himself in the mirror, water dripping from his chin. He shook his head and stepped out of the toilet into the deserted corridor. It was then when he heard it again. To his horror, the white shrouded figure turned the corner and jumped steadily towards him. Helmi exclaimed and cursed involuntarily. Gathering as much strength as he could muster, he ran the other way and turned the corner only to slam into Michael.
Whoa, steady friend, what happened? You okay or not?
It follow us, Look at the corridor, see.
He pushed Michael to look around the corner. But of course, Michael did not see anything save for a row of chairs. He saw Michael shaking his head and Helmi allowed himself to sneak a peek. There it was, as clear as day. The white figure sitting calmly on one of the chairs. It was too much for Helmi. He was on the verge of tears, for he had no idea what was happening to him. He slumped against the wall and felt his body slide down to the floor, eyes tightly shut, shaking his head unbelievably. Michael squatted beside him and spoke calmly.
Come on, let's go downstairs. Maybe a cup of coffee will do you good, yeah?
He slowly pulled on Helmi's arm and guided his friend to the stairs. As they approached the vending machine at the lobby, Rahman, a senior on their team, stopped them. He looked at Helmi's distraught face and immediately ordered Michael to get him a bottle of plain water from the vending machine. He sat and listened to Helmi's incoherent mumbling about the pocong chasing them and nodded at Michael's perplexed expression when the latter passed him a bottle of mineral water. Rahman touched Helmi's forehead, said some prayers, and passed the water for Helmi to drink, hoping to calm him down and regain his spirit after the scary encounter. It took a while for Helmi to settle down, but he refused to go home as advised, preferring instead to stay at the station until his shift ends in the morning. Patting Helmi on the back, Rahman told them to be careful when doing their rounds the next time. He then got up and walked briskly back to his office.
Take it easy, Helmi. The thing must have followed us from the unit we visited earlier.
Helmi nodded and sighed. He could not remember what he did or said while they were investigating at the unit they visited earlier. Somehow, he must have offended the other party, but to accuse them of releasing this creature onto him would be a serious allegation. He simply had no proof. As Helmi and Michael settled down for the rest of their shift, outside the guardhouse, an officer named Lim, who was on guard duty, stared dumbfounded at something he saw across the road from the main entrance of the station. A lone, white, shrouded figure hopping steadily away into the night. What do you think? Was Helmi the only one who saw the pocong? How come Michael missed it, but Lim saw it? I am Wraith. Once again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast.